It is the intention of the Liberation Place to support you in living the life you want to live, which essentially revolves around you being the person you want to be in the areas of life that are important to you, according to your true, authentic values and beliefs. And if you take a look at the website connected to this video, there's a series of exercises designed to help you figure out what this actually means for you. The framework from which we build the skills we need to live this way is taken from the integration of dialectical behaviour therapy and schema therapy, both of which are evidence-based styles of therapy that have decades of research behind their successful implementation. Inside of this framework, there can be some specific language being used that at first can be a little confusing or even off-putting to those that are new to the conversation. And while I do my very best to try to explain the terms each week in the free online meetings that I facilitate on Zoom, I thought it might be helpful to offer a series of videos designed to create content around understanding some of the terms we use in this particular type of work. So today, I'm going to give you a general outline on what we mean when we talk about psychological schemas. The word schema is short for the word schematic, and if you think about a schematic, we're basically talking about a blueprint. We think about blueprints in terms of construction, then a blueprint drawing shows us where everything is supposed to be. In psychology though, schemas are something slightly different. As human beings, we are constantly walking around with a story of some sort running through our minds. We attach meaning to everything that we see, everything that we hear, and everything that's happening around us. In essence, we are meaning-making machines. Sometimes our stories are helpful for us to live the life we want to live, and sometimes they're not. Regardless, we have stories about absolutely everything and absolutely everyone around us. This is the same for me as it is for you. The content of these stories are unique to us as individuals because I've had different experiences to the person next to me, just like they've had different experiences to the person next to them. The context of these stories fall into a particular framework, and this framework is what we refer to as our psychological schemas. For example, my own personal story might be that you won't be there when I need you, that you'll leave me for somebody else, someone better than me, that I can't depend on you being around for any extended period of time. This particular story falls into the contextual framework of a schema of abandonment, which is tied to a whole bunch of unmet childhood needs. Another example might be that I feel like the people around me just don't get me or understand my point of view. I feel like I don't belong in this particular dynamic, like I'm different to everyone around me for whatever reason that might be. Stories like this fall into the contextual framework of a schema of social isolation, and once again, this is tied to a series of unmet childhood needs. One of the other things to understand about our schemas is that they fall on a continuum of polar opposites, in that what's often seen as a maladaptive and ineffective schema sits on one side of the continuum, while on the other side we have what's often seen as an adaptive and effective point of view. For example, when a schema of vulnerability is present in our system, which is a story that something bad is going to happen so we have to be prepared for it, it sits on one side of the continuum of our stories. On the other side of the continuum is a schema of safety and security, a polar opposite to the schema of vulnerability. Now, if I spend all of my time tied to a schema of vulnerability, this is simply not a good place to be. I'm filled with anxiety and fear, waiting for the other shoe to drop, looking for the bad thing that's about to play out in the environment, and I'm filled with a sense of hypervigilance in every single situation that I go into. On the flip side, if I spend all of my time in a schema of safety and security, this is also not a healthy place for me to be, because I'm going to walk into situations that are dangerous for me to be in without the skills I need to notice what's happening in the immediate environment. The space in between these two opposites is the dialectical space. It's where we want to be, recognizing that we fluctuate across this continuum, never being in one space or another, continuously on the move. This is the dialectical perspective that we need to bring to our own psychological stories. Noticing that an active schema isn't something to be seen as bad or wrong, just getting curious with our own story to see if it's effective for us to see things from this point of view and live the life we want to live and be the person we want to be. So in review, psychological schemas are the contextual framework for the stories that we tell ourselves about life. They fall on a continuum of belief. For every maladaptive and ineffective schema, there's a polar opposite adaptive and effective version of itself. Neither of these schema is good or bad, right or wrong. The question is if it's effective in the bigger picture for us to live the life we want to live and be the person we want to be. Guys, I hope this video sheds some light on what psychological schemas are from the point of view of the work that we do at the Liberation Place. If this content has piqued your interest in some way and you want to know more, come join the live online meetings that I facilitate for free each week on Zoom. I'll leave some links to those groups in the description below. If you've got a particular term that you've heard in a meeting and you want a deeper explanation of what it means, please leave a comment in the description below letting me know what it is, and I'll do my very best to make a video on the most popular ones that get posted. As always, if you like the content of this video, please subscribe to the channel, smash that like button and turn on the notifications to get all the latest from me and the Liberation Place. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again soon. Take care, be safe and be well.